Fatimah. Welcome to TTS Talk. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come on the show.
Hey, Chris. Thanks. I'm excited to be here, and I'm always down for some Chris talk.
Well, I appreciate that. The world needs to listen to you more, Fatimah.
Yeah, I wish.
So why don't we kick this off and just tell everybody a little bit about who you are, where you're from, what you do, all that good stuff.
Okay. Well, my name is Fatimah. I'm a North Jersey girl. I'm an optometric physician, so I practice in both North Jersey and South Jersey. I'm a good daughter. My priorities are my mom, my family, and then me. So that's a little bit about me. I love being outdoors. I love hiking and camping. I love being outside and playing basketball, tennis. I literally have a volleyball, a basketball, a soccer ball, tennis rackets, and tennis balls in my car at any given time, so I can play at any given time. So that's kind of who I am.
You're game at all times, huh? You're just ready to go.
I am.
No matter what.
Yeah.
Love it. So let me ask you this. You've been training at TTS for how long now?
Since November of 2022.
Okay, so since November, we're now in August of 23. So you've been here for several months now. And what were some things before you joined our program? Like, what were some of the things that you were struggling with, on the health and fitness side, and maybe even the emotional side?
So, not really quite sure how personal, I'm gonna go here, but
Sure.
my personal
whatever you're comfortable with.
My personal journey through health started in January of 2022. January 6th of 2022, I decided I was gonna go. I had some health issues, and I needed to get surgery done on hiatal hernia. And I found out that the same doctor could do a gastric sleeve, but weight loss surgery. So he offered it. Hey, listen, I could do both, regarding the tests and all this stuff. We can do both for one cut once and get two done. I was like, all right, cool. Let me think about that. Did some research and I decided to go for it. By February of 2022, I had all my stuff done. March, I had gotten all my clearances, had my surgery in May of 2022. And I had lost 90 pounds from May of 2022 to from January of 2022 to November of 2022, I had lost 90 pounds and I was at a plateau. So here I am, I'm losing all this weight. And I used to have my brothers that trained me and were kind of like my guiding lights into strength and fitness. And I didn't have them. And I kind of was searching for somebody to help me because I wanted to get to that next level. Now I'm, 5 or 6 months past surgery, and I have the clearances to do whatever I want in fitness. And I want to raise it up to the next level. I just don't know how. Found out about TTS from one of the trainers, her boyfriend. I met him outside of the gym and in his professional setting. He's like, you got to check this place out. It's great. It's amazing. And he's showing me everything on his phone. I'm like, dude, that's great. So I check it out, I scope it, and then I met you. And that's when my life really kind of catapulted into something amazing. So
that's so amazing. And I want to dive into that and kind of find out a little bit more about what that looks like and how you catapulted to that next level. I want to hear all about the results and stuff. But I guess, what were some things, because obviously did you have a fitness background necessarily?
So I little bit small. I mean, I always liked to be fit. I always liked to be athletic, but I was always a big girl. So I had limitations, right?
Sure.
So I enjoyed doing this stuff, but consistency was never a thing for me because there was a lot of other things that were a priority above my fitness. So now it was a place in my life where I was going to put this as a priority, was my fitness, my goals, and really diving deep into, okay, now I'm losing the weight. I got to figure out how to create this body that and the mindset, because I knew my mindset was changing, that my mindset matched my physical body matched my mindset. So I had to really bring it up to that next level. I mean, when I was diabetic, I had high blood pressure, borderline high cholesterol. I had sleep apnea and I had heart issues. before all of this. So I needed to make sure, how was I going to maintain and get up to that next level?
Got it. Now, before joining this program, right, and getting to that next level, I'm sure there's some skepticism in your mind, right? It's like, what
Oh,
is this
absolutely.
place? Who? So, like, what are some things that you were skeptical about before you joined?
So I want to express to you the mindset I had. I knew what I
Yeah.
was looking for. I had an idea of what I wanted. I remember walking through my house and I'm like, okay, I had my brothers. I don't have my brothers. I need someone who gives a shit about me and just teach me what I need to do and care about me. And not like I'm not another number. I can't go to a gym where it's like everything's like fake and you're just another person that walks through the doors and uses the equipment. That wasn't fitting for me. I need something that was a little bit more personal and more of a family feel, but I had no idea where I was going to find this. And like I said, I was searching, kind of surfing. And if you remember, like the first, conversation we had, I asked you, you found, I don't know how you saw me, but you reached out, you're like, hey, you're interested and what's going on? Or I see you, sir. I don't know exactly how you opened it, but you opened up the conversation with me and I'm like, whoa, he sees me, like, okay, cool. So I wrote back and I said, I knew what I wanted to do. I had in my head what I was looking for. And I said, what is the difference between, I know I've already can lose the weight. I'm down 90 pounds. I'm just looking for someone to help me to the next level. What makes you different than any other gym or personal training that I can go to? And the answer you gave me was, we give a shit about you. And I was like, whoa, that's exactly what I had in my mind, like months earlier. And I was walking through my house going, I just need someone to give a shit about me. Like, you matched and you aligned to my energy perfectly. I was like, all right, I got to do this. And then from the second I went through with my first challenge, it was all uphill from there. So does that kind of help you to, does that answer your question? I don't know.
It absolutely does. And I was actually going to ask you, like, what made you decide to finally join the program? But I guess it was that conversation right there.
Oh,
You say, like,
100%.
oh, these are
100%.
real people who actually care about us as human beings and not just another number.
Right. And
Yeah.
and that was what hit it off.
Amazing. Amazing. I'm so happy that we had that conversation, that I reached out to you. I don't remember how I found you, but I remember the conversation. I remember saying that because you've repeated that to me a lot. And I'm like, wow, that's I'm glad that I said that.
It really, you don't know what you're saying to and who, but it makes a huge impression sometimes. And that's all you need to hear.
Amazing.
Because after that, like, again, I had, and I got to tell you, even during the first challenge, the coach I had, you had Kat Farrell was my first coach in that group. And 3 weeks into the challenge, I was all gung-ho. I was doing great. And I had a huge traumatic family emergency. And I had to fly out of state and I had to move to Florida for 2 months. And it was a very trying situation. I essentially forfeited the competition. I forfeited, being on top of it. And she was my part of TTS. Wasn't just the physical, like, she saved my mental insanity during that time, where I now, like, I branched into a beautiful relationship with her and I was still able to stay, like, that's when I realized that this was more than just any kind of gym or any kind of membership you can join. This is a family that says, we really truly care about you. We truly give a shit about you, whether it's Chris, whether it's another coach, whether it's Coach James, whether it's Coach Kat, whether it's Coach Nick or Coach Albert, Coach Brett or Coach Addie. Like, everyone genuinely has their own niche of giving a shit about you. And that's what I love it the most.
That's so amazing. And like I always say, like, that's something that we really like, because if our coaches of our team, if they didn't embody our values, it wouldn't work here,
Exactly.
So, like, we have to always, whenever we're hiring somebody new for our team, it's like, we're looking to make sure that they're a good human being who actually cares first and foremost. I don't care what the credentials are. I don't care how long they've been doing this. I don't care. It might be they're very, like, they just want to start as a trainer and this is their first step in that direction. We're happy to take you on because we could train you. We'll train them. We'll show them the X's and O's. We'll teach them all about training and nutrition and change psychology and all these things. But they need to be a good person first, because we can't teach that. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree, 100%. Like, you got to have the quality and the passion to really get to know your person, the person that you're working with, your client.
Yeah. Yeah,
And that's what I
absolutely.
think is that what sets you guys apart, you know. And then there's so many things, like because she was able to keep me in that mental state, I woke up an hour before, taking care of all the people. I woke up an hour before and did my workout, whatever it was that day, whether it was walking 3 miles and doing a strength workout, or not a strength work, like a push-up or ab workout or something. 1 hour I would give myself before I gave it to anybody else. And I would go walking every day, and I had my protein. And that's kind of baby steps, but I still stayed on track. Came right back to New Jersey after the madness and took a couple weeks off to breathe, and then jumped right back in the game.
I love that. And the one thing that you said there is like, you took care of yourself before anybody else. And that's like that old saying, like, you want to put your oxygen mask on before you put the person next to you's on, right? So
Exactly.
it's so important for people listening to this right now to hear that, because there's so many people that say, I got to take care of the kids, I got to take care of my wife or my husband or my mom or my dad. Like, true, right? Family is very important, but if you're not your best, if you're not taking care of yourself, how are you going to show up for them? And that's a
Exactly.
thing that I think people get lost in. It's like they think they're being selfish for taking care of themselves first, but in reality, it's actually the most selfless thing that you can do, because now you're showing up at your best.
But I didn't learn that until now.
Until you did
because
it. Yeah.
because before this, I was killing myself to make everybody else happy in my life. I was the heaviest I've ever been. And like I said, I had those illnesses. So I was slowly degrading myself, trying to take care of and be there for everybody else. Now, and even coming back, I feel like it's truly a mindset, because when I came back, I mean, it's still, you guys didn't forget about me. I got a beautiful gift and a card that made me cry for the everything I went through. So I was acknowledged and appreciated as a client. That made me feel like, oh my God, this is like, I could do this. I have a huge support system. The support system in the near time of need picks you up to get back. And yes, it did take me a couple of weeks, but I finally did come back. And I went back with the mindset that I don't have to be perfect, but I'm going to do my best each day to be 1% better. And that's what I learned from TTS. And slowly be patient with myself. I came back doing multiple challenges. So I came back into the paleo AIP challenge you offered in February. And I have to tell you this, I took bits and pieces from the paleo AIP. Then I did the next challenge, which was the cardio carb cycling. I took bits and pieces from that. And as I've gotten and that helped me to get mentally healthy, along with having some, I definitely checked in mentally each day, because not every day is a bad day, but it's about making those choices on the bad days that you don't give in to a loss of a bad day. Because instead of going to eat something bad, I went on my Peloton and went for a walk, or chose something different to eat rather than going to my comfort food, which would be chips. Okay, that's my personal thing. Okay, so I changed it up. And in the paleo AIP diet, I found these siete chips that are paleo, dairy free, and then they're all made with healthy stuff, like learning about real food. Like everything that you learn and everything that you taught is literally taking bits and pieces and shaping it into something simple, but that works for you.
That's so amazing. There's so many gems in there. People listening that may be struggling. I think one of the things is, if you know that you have bad habits, and you know where your weaknesses lie, and you know how you typically respond to whether it be stress or some type of an emotional thing, it's like, if you know that you respond in a way where you're going to just start eating food, and instead of sticking with that habit, like being aware of it and saying, okay, instead of doing that, I'm going to replace it with a better habit. Maybe that's getting on the Peloton or going for a walk or, whatever. I mean, I think that right there alone could change so many people's perspective and life in many ways.
Oh, 100%. And it's not even about having to think about, you can make the thought hard. And I've done this before, because I'm an overthinker. I'm a Capricorn, and I'm totally an overthinker. So I overthink everything, and I'm indecisive about certain things. But once I make a decision, I hold true to it, right? So I've done the hard thinking where I'm like, oh, I'm exhausted. Do I really want to go on that Peloton? No, I want to sit here and have a bag of chips and watch TV. I don't really want to go on that Peloton. But you're overthinking it. If you keep it simple and go, all right, my options are to chill and have a bag of chips, or maybe go do a light workout on a Peloton. I could do a 10-minute light bike ride, go and do a 30-minute walk with my girlfriend so we can chit chat. I'm still keeping my stress down because I don't want to do anything stressful. I want to do this stress-free, but I'm changing my habits. And it, like that book that you so nicely shared with some of your clients, Atomic Habits. It's an important way to keep it simple and not think too much about the hard stuff. If you train your brain to think it's hard, it's going to be hard. But if you train your brain to think otherwise, and this doesn't have to be about food either. I'm telling you honestly, I wanted to have a cigarette when I came back, and I wanted to do other things and drink alcohol, but that was so far out of, like, that was something I found myself wanting to do. And then you can't go back to the bad habits. You have to stick to, you can't fall short on yourself. And again, I know I'm keep going on. You haven't asked me the next question, but it goes back to the beginning. When I first met you, the first coaching call, it was all about mental. You had us write down our why. And my why was because I wanted to live for myself and be able to give back to my family.
That's powerful stuff there, Fatima.
I'm sorry, I know I went on. But...
No. That's really great stuff, and I'm happy sharing that, because for people to hear that and know how, sometimes with around fitness especially, it's like, oh, I want to lose a couple pounds, or I want to do this, or I want to do that, but it's like there are these very vague goals, and we don't even really understand why we want them to begin with. So when we start to dive into that stuff a little bit more, and there's a deeper emotion connected to the goal, we're way more likely to actually achieve it, and you look at it through a different lens almost. But I do want to ask you, like, so since you've been training, what are some of the results? Like, what are some of what's some of the progress that you've seen thus far since November?
So my body is doing things for the first time in my life I didn't even know it could do. I have played field hockey, I've played softball, I've done, track and stuff when I was in high school, but now I'm doing things like 62 push-ups, and I'm doing 10 dips. The first time I tried doing dips, I couldn't do any. I didn't even know what a dip was. Coach James almost had to catch me when I was trying to do a dip. But just this past Monday, I did 10 dips, 5, and then my second set of 5, which is huge for me. I'm now doing, I think I got oh my God, I should have looked at my book, but I'm doing, 75 fighter sit-ups. So it's like, and these different challenges. I'm lifting weights, goblet squats. I'm carrying like 45 pounds. And I'm doing like an RDLs, I'm over 100, like 135 pounds or 145 pounds. I really believe it's not just like, yes, my body is doing this, but it's because like, it's the environment I'm in. And it's the consistency I go to, and it's because it's my happy place, that literally, and I don't like calling it a gym. I call it the studio. Oh, I'm going to the studio, or I'll be at the studio, because it really is a studio, not a gym. A gym is so generic anymore. But the studio is where things happen. It's where people perform to get better. It's where people, like-minded people that you meet and have similar goals. I've met some of the most incredible people at the studio who will be my lifelong forever friends. And we've gotten matching tattoos together. And we are, yeah, they're not TTS tattoos, but, but we've gotten matching tattoos together. We are going to be girls for life. And the way they think, it's like, wow, I'm so blessed to have met these people, and all together we're cheering each other on, and it's unlike any experience. And my personal thing is I have my book, and I make it pretty with stickers and stuff. And I keep a track, and to go back to the book theory and how that progress is huge. My mental state was like, okay, if I'm going to do this back in November, I'm going to do it like I did to get into optometry school. And I studied, and I wrote down my notes, and same consistency came with each challenge I did and with my workout. So the way I write it in my journal, I have it separated. Each week I go back and I say, wow, I only did like 10 sit-ups last time. Now I'm doing 70. Like, I only started out with doing 10-pound dumbbells. Now I'm doing 35-pound dumbbells, and I'm keeping up with the heavy setters that I always looked at when I first came in. Like, I'm stepping up to the plate in my arms and my legs and my core. And I'm able to, hit, when we did the still squats, I hit 90 seconds on the first try. So I'm kind of like, this is a huge awakening for me, knowing that, I've already felt like I put my brain through the Olympics going through optometry school. Now I'm putting my body through the Olympics, going through the studio.
It's the combination of those two things though, right?
It is, but that's my personality. I work hard and play hard. When I was in school, everyone be like, "Oh, it's a random Tuesday night. Let's go out drinking." I'm like, "What are we celebrating? Did we take a test? Did we take a final? No, I'm gonna stay home and study. I'm good. And you all go out. I'll see you after the next test, and we'll go party." And then I would go have a good time. But you got to get to an accomplishment to be able to party hard, study hard, work hard, party hard.
That's for sure. And you know what I love about you, Fatima, as you're talking, I'm just thinking here, it's like you have such a positive, you're like beaming with this positivity, like this excitement and this energy and this positive energy. It's just so awesome to be around. So it's
Thanks.
great. Like, honestly, think everything that you're saying about the people in your training session and the people that you've created these relationships with, I think that they would say that even the people that you're not that close with, like some of the other people that you might be training alongside of, I'm sure that they feel that energy too, and they appreciate that, because that positivity makes other people, especially newcomers, feel so welcome. And it's so great to hear that when we talk to other people who are just starting, and they're like, everybody's so awesome, all the members, all the coaches, but the members are like, they're so warm and welcoming. I was a little intimidated when I was starting. So it's like, when I talk to you, it's like, this is why, like with the more of these interviews that I do, it's like, this is why we have so many awesome people here.
It's because you always have your energy you give out is the mere reflection of you. So every team is built based on the leader, right? You're only as good as your leader. And I really truly believe that as my profession is, as watching you, as learning from you. And that's the thing, like I just got done telling somebody yesterday, I was like, I don't know. You have to trust your coach. I trust you. When you say something, I went out and bought the NutriBio. I bought it. I sent it home with some of the other members. Like, you got to try it. You got to try it. Like, it's great. It's clean. Like, and I stand by what you say because I trust you. And because I know you've done that research. You've done the hard work for me. So I'm blessed to be like, okay, great. We're like-minded people. I'm going to trust this man. And not just with the NutriBio, the way I eat, the way I do things, like everything's organic now. Like I said, I learned so much. And not just that, but like now, not just the carb cycling, but I did a yoga class too. And the yoga is interacting with the mental and physical state. I'm like, oh my God, my body could not have done this. Like, no way. It was 6 months ago. Forget about it. And even this first yoga class that we had this past weekend, I was kind of like, all right, I haven't really, done too much, and I don't know what's, and my body just went, like, the central nervous system went right back into its memory. And I was able to like do poses and things like that. I'm like, man, lifter by morning. I do strength works out in the mornings and yoga by night. So it's kind of like, and it really kind of helps to mend all sections of fitness. It's really not just about one goal or your second goal. It's a whole like life goal about where you want and what standards you want to keep in your life. And if you can raise up to that higher level of standard and power in your life, not many people have the dedication to do it, but if they just realize how simple, you don't have to be a brainiac, you don't have to be a rocket scientist, you have to have the dedication and the want and the why. That's the biggest thing, the why. If you figure out, and I remember the first phone call, I'm like, dude, he's, okay, write down your next why. Okay, now why about that? I have no idea. I got lost in the whys, but
we made you dig a little bit.
Right. The more you made us dig, the more I realized, wow, this is incredible. I figured out my why, and I held it the whole way through.
So awesome. So awesome.
Yeah.
What would you say, Fatima, to someone who maybe they're, they see our ads on social media, or they see us promoting something about our 6-week challenge or 6-week program, and maybe they're on the fence about it? What would you say to somebody like that?
Give it a try. Don't let the anxiety, the doubt set in, because the only thing that's going to create failure is self-doubt. It's true. You can try something and you're much more likely not going to fail than giving into the doubt to even try it. And I've learned that because, again, I'll share something personal. Taking tests for me is very challenging. And my teacher made me take a test in pen. So I could not change my answers. I would have gotten an A, but I got a D because I changed my answers. She made me take, or the dean of the optometry school made me take it in pen, and I got an A. And it all has to do with self-doubt. If you doubt yourself for a moment and then start overthinking the doubt, you'll never get to where you want to be. So even if you question, even if you slightly have the skepticism, what does this person have? What are they offering me? Yeah, it's just another challenge. It's not just another challenge, because they give you all the tools that you need to do it. All you need to do is not doubt yourself. And that's the first step to get rid of the doubt. If you don't doubt, you step a little bit. It's just baby steps. Reach out like I did, or see how this person thinks. If they think the same way as you, see if it clicks. And if it does, just keep rolling with it. Don't get afraid. Don't even be afraid. There's so many different fears you can give in life, right? I was homeless when I was younger, okay? And I still went to medical school, and people tell me all the time when I was younger, you sure you want to do that? It's only made for people who have money. I'm going to take my chances. Thanks. I'm going to take my chances. If it's not meant to be, God will figure out. I had no anxiety growing up. None. So many people told me that being a doctor was not in my realm because I grew up as humble as I did. I did it anyway because I didn't give in to the doubt. And you just make it happen. So for a challenge, for something small, for a little doubt that's going to pass your mind, don't give in to the doubt. And there's so many, and the financial loans that you take out, the finances behind it, money is just a form of energy. If you don't put forth money, the energy is not going to flow. So you're stopping it some way or another. The doubt of not putting down the money, it all comes down to doubt. Do I have the money? You find it. If you want to buy that thing on Amazon, you find it then, right? Do it for yourself.
Absolutely. That's a great answer. And my final question for you, if you could describe TTS in one word or maybe one sentence, what would that be?
Because two things come to mind here. That's why I say that.
Give us two then, but you pick the one that you want.
I'm trying to incorporate both.
Okay.
The best decision I've ever made to create my own family, my own fitness family. You guys are my fitness family. I have missed bridal showers. I have missed other events that I'm like, yeah, I have yoga today. I had my warrior workout that morning plus my yoga. I'm like, nah, I'm not going down to Maryland for my friend's baby shower. Sorry, I can't make it. Like, because this is my time for me, and I'm not giving up me for anyone else anymore. And this truly has been the best decision I've ever made in my personal life, to create my own fitness family. And that's exactly what I tell people. Like, this is not just a gym, and it's truly my family's fitness family. And every day when we do our huddle and we put our hands in and we say family, that morning, that makes your day. Everything else, anything that can happen is a little bit more muffled. Like anything more stressful or anything, just that much less stressful, because you started your day off right. And the first hour of, now, you know me, I'm a 5 a.m.er. I don't even think I've been to 1-6:15, but I'm a 5 a.m. girl, okay? That first hour is for me. Everybody else can wait. And everybody in that morning, we all think the same. It's just, we give that hour to ourselves, and we all celebrate. We always celebrate. We always, what's the word I'm looking for? We always dedicate our celebrations in that 1 hour.
That's so amazing. As you're talking, I'm getting goosebumps over here. And every time I ask that question, it's like whoever's giving me these answers, like, it fires me up, because this is why we do it. To hear those answers, to hear how much this has changed your life. We're so grateful for you, truly. And Fatimah, honestly, when we see people like you showing up, changing your life, and then impacting other people around you, it's just a reminder when things get tough, and there's always, whether it be business challenges or whatever, this is the reminder of why we do it. And this is what keeps us going. This is what gives us that energy. So I'm so grateful to have you here today. I'm so grateful to have you as a part of the TTS family. it's truly an absolute pleasure to work with you. And just thank you for everything. Thank you for being awesome. And thank you for coming on the show today.
Of course. So thank you for having me. I appreciate your time. And it's a true pleasure and a privilege to be part of the team. I truly do. I mean, some of my greatest friends are there. It's a family. It's our family. And at any given time, if I have any issues, I know I can always reach out to anyone. And that's the most beautiful thing about it. It's truly like, it's not just a family while you're there. We're a family when we're not there either.
Love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Fatimah. I'm going to stop recording. Hang on the line for a second, but thank you again for coming on. And you're the best. Keep it going.
Thank you. Appreciate you.